Welcome Retro Kiwiman.
You are here to accept the left pill. After this clip, which one will you choose? Left, you go back to reality and continue on with your life. The right, you will be sucked into this review and find out what is the best game ever to grace a video game. So, which one will you choose?
So, whoever that was, ladies and gentlemen, I told that person that we aren't allowed to do the blue pill, red pill due to infringement. So, he instead gave us a white phone and a black phone. So I'm deciding on whether or not should I choose a white phone, because if I choose a white phone, that will go back into reality and we have to live our daily lives like we do. And the black phone, we'll get sucked into one of these reviews and playing the best video game in the entire world. So what do you think is the best video game in the entire world while I make this decision? White, black, white, black. Well, I like being weird and different, so I think I will choose the black phone, because I want to be curious as to what is the best video game ever. Alright, here we go. I choose this phone.
Lunch, I sit alone tonight, joystick in hand, memories take flight. 8-bit wonder, stardust in my eyes.
Roman ship in search of the place you've never known. Listen to the wind until you can hear the sign. Each and every moment, oh, as time goes by, all in this world has to change. Roman ship in search of the place you've never known. Better take a breath until you can hear the sign. Roman ship in search of the place you've never seen. Better watch your step until you can find the key. Roman ship in search of the place you may never reach. Better love yourself, tomorrow's another day.
Final Fantasy VI. Yes, Final Fantasy VI was the meanest game ever to grace a console, especially for its era. I mean, as soon as you pop it in, I mean, look at this awesome font blowing up with your screen with crazy organ music, not to mention lightning bolts shooting across your screen. And then, get ready for it, get ready, Final Fantasy VI. You know you is about to play one of the greatest, biggest Super Nintendo games of its era. I mean, okay, some will beg to differ if this is the best Final Fantasy of all time, because there are like 16 of them. But in our opinion, we think this is the greatest Final Fantasy game and perhaps the best besides Mario and Donkey Kong. You're greeted with an awesome story. For example, here we go. The Great Demon War long ago. After this conflict ended, the power of magic simply vanished. A 1,000 years have passed with iron, gunpowder, and steam engines. People have used machinery to reveal the world. But now, legendary power of magic has been revealed secretly, and a group has risen that intends to control the world with this power. So then we are greeted with 3 soldiers appearing on an icy hilltop. Is mankind on the verge of repeating a terrible mistake? As then slowly our 3 soldiers start climbing up this icy peak. He said, "Is that the city? This is a phantom beast really survived for 1,000 years frozen after the Great Demon War, which is known as Espers. And it is really one at all, and he heard rumours about it, but nothing definite." And why do we have this rare magic user with us? I heard that she killed 50 soldiers under 3 minutes. Truly fearsome. We're safe enough. That circlet on her head keeps her from thinking for herself. She follows our orders. So Terra's under the capture of these 2 soldiers known as Wedge and Vic. We'll break into the city from the east, so let's move out. So then we are greeted with one of the best opening cutscenes, I do believe, in this era of storytelling. We are greeted with an epic dialogue. And here we go. Our soldiers begin to embrace the cold as they walk towards the snowy of this awesome epic story. So let's enjoy and find out why this was the best story and game on the Super Nintendo. That's right, we're doing this, folks. This is like winter game. Since the atmosphere here is so cold, just like how it's winter right now in real life. So playing this game makes a lot of sense, since it's cold and it has a cold atmosphere, so why not? I haven't played this game for so long, since I was a kid. It was like pulling a sickie from high school just to jam on this beast of the game. This game is very dynamic. It makes Shakespeare look like a Saturday morning cartoon. Welcome to Final Fantasy VI, Aka. We have questions like while playing this game. Game of Thrones Pixel Edition. That one RPG where villains actually wins. And a Joker Fantasy Vacation. So let's roll into the most wonderful memories of my childhood, and hopefully your childhood, known as Final Fantasy VI. So let's roll the dice, and I'm sure you can agree this game was epic. With such an amazing game, there's always a downside. Let me tell you why this is not a game where you can pick up for 20 minutes and try and beat it, or even on a long weekend. This game is gruesome. It's where you chip at it over a long year period, or even longer. With all the grinding and level up of characters, it's definitely a work in progress, and something you can't do in 5 minutes. You can play this game and grind it out while you're sick or perhaps if you're bored. It was one of the longest games in history, maybe over 40 hours plus, even longer. Oh yes, my friends, you have to fucking be a saint of patience to beat this game. I mean, some have beaten this game in quick session. I looked up Google, and apparently someone has beaten this game under 5 hours and 15 minutes. But sure, you can do that. Just a bit of a show-off. But the fun is building up and developing characters while grinding their levels. This is what knowing as RPG, role-playing games, where you develop characters, customize weapons, so your time is pretty heavy invested into this. I mean, as a kid, you can imagine it could have got pretty overwhelming with accessories and weapons and hit points and grinding rights and collecting shit. I know I've been calling it Final Fantasy VI, but it's also known as Final Fantasy III. Today we are all caught up with the explanations, but back then, as a kid, none of us knew. Even when I asked people, no one knew. Then that awesome Final Fantasy VII came out on PlayStation, and we was like, what the fuck? Why is everyone calling it Final Fantasy VII? Since when do we jump to 7? It's 6, but some cartridges still says Final Fantasy 3. Everything still says 3. I even gave it the finger and say fuck you, and it still says 3. So what made this game a desirable game to play and gravitated players into playing it? Well, basically everything. First role-playing game I ever played as a kid. The first time I played it, I had no idea what we was doing. I was like, why are we slashing monsters in the thin air? Why are those numbers popping up on the screen? I really thought it was like a checkers game or a chess game or, some sort of board game. Wasn't used to this role-playing games concept. I had no clue. RPGs were in. But after Final Fantasy VI on the Super Nintendo, I fully understood what RPG meant and the concept of grinding. Let me run down Final Fantasy VI in a nutshell. Basically, Final Fantasy VI, you control a group of heroes. You travel through towns, caves, dungeons, collecting items, fighting monsters, meeting strangers, gaining spells and abilities while progressing on with the storyline. On paper, it's like your own adventure game. Why was it so magical during this era? Was collecting of weapons and accessories to equip yourself with, and all the magic and skills to learn once you attain espers. You can assign them to characters so you can customize your character however you see fit. Plus, you are able to call your characters however you want. If you want to name a character Ass, then choose it. That's the beauty of this. But with so many characters, you can name them all differently. What I hated about this game was that your characters had to be split into groups while travelling the world. You can pick who you want in each team, but it's still, I don't feel it's the same. Characters are a big thing in Final Fantasy games as you grow attached to them while you're building and leveling them up. It's almost like a TV show character you get attached to, like Rick or Dixon, example. Never in a game where every character had a story to be told and went through their backstories. It's all about building a team. While travelling the world, you get to know them, almost like real friendship. That's why I enjoy Final Fantasy games, as it's a fresh concept. Passion in the characters always come through. There's really no main heroes in this game. Like all other Final Fantasies, they all seem to be heroes. If I was to pick a main character in this game, I would say it would probably be Locke or Terra. Terra has a story about finding herself, as she was being controlled by the Emperor. Now she is going against them. All these characters in some shape or form hate the Empire. The cutest character in FF6 is Mog. He is so fucking adorable. Mog is another word for Mugui. It's actually enjoyable knowing all your characters are the heroes. We can't forget Kiefer, the best villain in all of Final Fantasy games. He suffered from an magical experiment by the Empire, which made him go nuts. After rising to power, he became a hungry, proud lunatic. He loves destruction. This dude is so messed up. Kiefer has caused so much turmoil and given all the characters a reason to hate him, which is very cool. He even ripped the world apart at one stage in the game. He does bring the characters together. So Kiefer, in my opinion, is probably one of the best villains in all of Final Fantasy series. Final Fantasy VI is very heavily relied on character stories.
Whoa, this is heavy. There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull? What?
The main concept is storytelling through the gameplay. It's really awesome too. However, some of them have bugs, but you can overlook it. The random encounters on the world map is very frustrating. That's the one thing you have to keep patient in this game while you're travelling. Battles monsters every damn second, to where you have to gain and level up your characters, having to endure the same amount of time on everyone as the battles does get really crazy at times. Another annoying thing is when you're travelling in towns, people get in your way. It's like you're saying to the TV, move your butt. Walking in general is frustrating. Only other minor thing that I hated was characters. Didn't travel separately, yep, they all merged into one character while travelling. The cool concept in this game, though, it has a timer to show you how far you progressed and played it for. If you notice, also at the bottom of the screen, it shows you a step count next to the timer. Why would you care how far you walked on a game? Really? Sometimes a battle is impossible, because if 3 of your characters die, how are you meant to use that Phoenix down to bring them back to life? Especially if the other character in battle is locked, and you can't move. Yeah, and when you die, all that progress is lost. The spell and attacks moves are incredible in this game. Love battling. Every character has a spell and different attack, and it's incredible. These moves are super unique and cool to look at. It really makes you love to battle. The graphics is superb in the spells and attack range, and it's very awesome as sometimes it lights up the TV screen. Look at some of the designs of the monsters, they look incredible. They're well drawn in this game and super realistic. Graphics are some of the best in this game I've ever seen on a Super Nintendo. That's what I love. And the music too to listen to is a real banger. Even today I'm still humming some of these tunes in real life. Starting to hum the song, sorry folks. And see you then. Don't forget about the most epic scene in Final Fantasy VI was the opera scene. Diamonds and praise it for its storytelling and its epicness. The opera scene was an ambitious achievement for gaming and has some awesome epic music. The gameplay though, to sum it up, during the scene sucked ass, because you had to remember the song lyrics. If you mess it up, you start all over again. Because this scene had no save feature for 30 minutes, so if you needed to go to dinner, well, too bad.
Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner?
Let's talk about one scene where Kiefer destroyed the planet and opened the gates of hell, which caused a global event on the entire island to become a floating continent. The heroes jumped from the airship onto the island to embark on an adventure of fighting monsters, navigating through unstable maze holes and teleportation holes, fighting all kinds of shit. You would think this would be the ending. This honestly does feel like the ending. Spoilers alert coming. Kiefer does kill the Emperor, making him the head villain, unleashes power of the gods, and it feels like an Indiana Jones movie.
There's a big snake in the plane, Jacques! Oh, that's just my pet snake, Reggie! I hate snakes, Jacques! I hate them! Come on, show a little backbone, will ya?
You have to race against the clock. When you reach the end, you have to wait for Shannon to jump on the airship. After then, we witness a global scene in any game. The ground rips apart, people fall into the earth, and the ship is torn apart. Then, again, wait for it, we meet with the screen.
On that day, the world was changed forever. On that day, the world was changed forever.
Now, imagine if you were a kid. You were in 1994, when Squaresoft released this bad boy of a game. We had no Wi-Fi, no access to cheat codes, no Game Genie, and especially we couldn't access to any spoilers. For all we know, this could have been the end, the big ending, leave us hanging. Man, we would have been pissed back then, and leaving us like, what the fuck is going to happen now? Is this the end? We don't know. We're sitting here shitting our pants with excitement. What the fuck is going to happen next? Character Celeste awakens on a small island being cared for by Sid. Sid is known throughout the entire Final Fantasy series as a father figure. He gets sick and you need to care for him by catching fish. And if he dies, you witness the most saddest scene on any video game platform. Celeste then goes to the cliff about how everyone's gone, and without nothing left to live for, she tries to end it all. This is the most shocking thing I've ever saw in a video game known to this date, and that was back in 1994 as a kid. For some unknown reason, she survives and finds Locke's item, and makes a raft and then goes on a whole new quest. Well, this game actually taught us a lesson.
No matter how bleak life seems, there is always hope. No matter how bleak life seems, there is always hope.
There is always hope.
So, this game actually teaches us a life lesson, which is never give up. Especially, do you want to give up while playing after this game for 40 odd hours? You want to give this up? Hell fucking no. Even though you lost pretty much everything and you have to start a whole new adventure, everything you had is gone and now you have to find your friends. They're all gone too. You got to collect all new items and explore this broken new world. The way this is done is entirely more relatable. Not only does this game get better as an adult, because we understand it more. I mean, unless you're a smart kid, how the fuck would you understand this shit? Like, plot, characters, leveling up, grinding it out, battling, this, mind-blowing. Need I say more? But this game actually teaches us a lesson, as we're halfway through this game now. Reminds me of a famous quote. That's right, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, by Friedrich Nietzsche. But what I prefer to say is this, hurry up this review and finish this fucking game, it's taking too long. Look at all these motherfucking stairs. Oh my god. What's with all these stairs? Stairs. Climbing. What the? What's with games and stairs? Every game we have is stairs. This reminds me of a bad episode playing Donkey Kong when you go up and climb the stairs and you grab the mallet. Boom! Wake me up until we get to floor 100. So finally, yes, finally, that took almost a year of grinding out. The characters all came back to your party, level them up enough, learn enough spells, and you can make the call to then go to the final scene. Yes, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. The last scene, Kiefer's Tower. You are going to have to survive many battles, so if you hate battling, you are going to hate this area. So unless you spend enough time leveling up your entire party, this one can be a bit tricky, so be sure when selecting members, choice is everything. Oh yeah, Kiefer's Tower is such a place, so painful, makes your blood rushing, makes you hyper. You'll be begging for a bloody safe spot and have many close encounters with enemies. Now that we are back from all the special effects, we are back with the 3 members that reach the end of the tower and regroup as one for the big major climax. Kiefer gives a major speech about the meaningless of life, where the heroes encounter what they learn through their adventures and the things they hold dear to them, such as friendship, family, and love. Then Kiefer calls for the greatest power of the universe. Here we will create a monumentum to non-existence. Then you are determined to put it in order of who battles him, then it's on like Donkey Kong. Holy shit! It's Satan. I mean, what else could it be? The screen fucking cracks and moves upwards, and you must face a whole shitload of bosses. It's like bosses on top of bosses. It's like you're fighting a famous artist painter that comes back and casts judgment on you. And the choir and the organ. Oh man, this is so big. As it gives it a big effect. It's like fucking fighting hell and heaven. We're not even at Kiefer yet. Oh my god! This is not Kiefer as you expect after being familiar with that clown emoji. Now he becomes a wicked angel floating against golden clouds with light of rays shooting from them. They truly made this boss epic to make this the best boss fight in the entire video game era. If you're not leveled up, he will kick your ass in one hit. If you don't have life free spells, then you're doomed. My god! I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Yes! I beat it! I beat it! I beat it! You just beat the greatest game of all time, Final Fantasy VI. Then you are greeted with a bunch of cutscenes of about 20 minutes, so sit back and enjoy the rewards, my friends. They knew when they made this game. You beat it, you bloody deserve it. So did everyone enjoy that bloody little adventure there of the best game ever, Final Fantasy VI? So the final verdict, we are on the road to the final verdict right here. So of course this will get our gold thumb of the week and the gold thumb for the most awesome game out there. I mean, it might not be yours, but to me, and I think everybody who likes role-playing games, this will be a big thumbs up. So thumbs up everybody, that'd be a smashing gold thumb of the week. Okay, so our ranking, well, obvious, it really can't get a 10 out of 10, but I think it would get a 9.99 out of 10. Because I'm still not over Shadow dying, so maybe that's why. But let's get this straight. Final Fantasy is not just a game, it's an adventure. And it leaves us hanging with emotions, and it's just a boy of fun within the gaming. So this is definitely a game for everybody. It's an emotional tax. You start thinking you gotta fight some pixelated monsters and maybe save a kingdom, but 20 hours later you're crying over a mute girl and an opera scene. That shit slaps harder than most modern musicals, so definitely worth your money and time investment. The plot: a clown becomes God, literally. The world ends, literally, and you throw a Yeti, a ghost train, and gremlin at him, also literally, and somehow it all worked. So I would give this about a 10 out of 10. The plot, the characters, this game's in main characters, never heard of her. You got Celis, you got Terra, you got Sabin, you got Kiefer, you got Locke, you got Terra. May I say more, even the side characters have a main role as the heroes in this game. So it does get very confusing and with a lot of chaos about the characters. So in that aspect, I would probably give the characters about an 8 out of 10, because there's just so much to intake. That's probably one of the reasons why we gave this game a 9.9 out of 10. Okay, and the music. I'm going to destroy you musically through a 16-bit soundtrack. And then we did it. The opera scene, still more emotional charged. The most relationships I've ever had is the music. Kiefer final boss theme is radical. It's what anxiety sounds like if it's got a choir and an organ. Music, 10 out of 10. The complex, classic turn-based strategy, except Sabin's moves, required Street Fighter combat. No, I want to punch a boss and accidentally yeet into space. Risk it anyways, it's still great, the combat. You know, you got all the magical functions, you got all the spells, all the attacks. So that combat still gets a 10 out of 10. Final thoughts here. Final thoughts of going through our gaming childhood was awesome. I would recommend Final Fantasy VI to anybody, you know, who just loves story, characters, who just wants to play a long, epic game. This isn't just an epic game, it's an RPG fever dream, where every weird idea somehow lands. It's like developers said, what if every single idea we had in it? And then they did it, and it worked. Your friends die, come back, maybe die again, the world ends halfway through, you ride a chocobo while crying. It's definitely worth a 10 out of 10. If you haven't played it in your bucket list, please go out and do so, because it's definitely a bucket list moment. I wonder, what would I be like in an RPG game?
I'm the Moogle from Final Fantasy VI. You have spoken badly about me, and for that, I'm turning you into a pickle.
I did not tell you sucked, Moogie. Please don't turn me into a pickle. No.
I was sleeping in my bed so tight when a pickle came alive one night. It danced and twirled across the floor. I screamed, oh no, don't come no more. Pickle, pickle, don't you dare. Your wiggly ways give me a scare. Dill or sweet, your you're quite a sight. I'm dreaming of a pickle nightmare. It jumped up high onto my chair, wearing a hat with flair to spare. It winked and said, don't be afraid, but I just hid beneath my braid. Pickle, pickle, don't you dare, your wiggly ways give me a scare. Dill or sweet, you're quite a sight. I'm dreaming of a pickle nightmare. With a laugh it juggled jelly jars, played the kazoo beneath the stars. It sang a tune with a squeaky voice. I ran away, I had no choice. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Pickle, pickle, don't you dare, your wiggly ways give me a scare. Dill or sweet, you're quite a sight. I'm dreaming